When people ask what's scleroderma and why is it called systemic sclerosis and things like that, I can have many different explanations, but there's a few components I think of. So one is it's an autoimmune disease, and I say it's sort of a cousin of lupus. Again, we're not going to explain all of lupus, so most people have heard of systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, or lupus. They go, okay, that's an autoimmune disease where antibodies are made attacking your tissues. Unlike lupus, there's an awful lot of scarring, the laying down of collagen. So unrelenting scarring, or we call that fibrosis, and that's a hallmark. And that's not a common problem in lupus or rheumatoid arthritis, but it's one of the hallmarks of scleroderma. The third hallmark is that the blood vessels are messed up. So we say that's vascular or vasomotor instability, up to and including really obliterating the blood vessels. And that can be blood vessels in many different organs, and each organ might manifest differently. There's often tightness of the face and the fingers, and in one subset, it's tightness throughout the arms, legs, truncal as well, potentially. Then there's also gut involvement. So almost everyone with scleroderma has that their GI tract, their gut from the top to bottom doesn't contract right. So there's discoordinated motility, and it's not right, strong peristalsis. So severe acid reflux, bloating, diarrhea.
I think the worst ones would be like the calcinosis and the Raynaud's for me. So I get pretty bad Raynaud's, and that's just where like your hands go white. You can kind of see they're coming up a bit now, maybe not. But they'll go really white or blue or red and tingly. And then I also get the calcinosis, which you can like kind of see here. This one's really annoying. And then I get them in my feet as well. So I've had a bunch removed from my hand. Like I had a huge one here that was like a pretty big operation that was done. A bunch from my elbows, like growing up, and then also recently I think I had a little one that they removed. GI issues, I want to say, is just like the common like indigestion kind of stuff like that, and bloating. Oh my god, that's probably my biggest one. Like there are days where I will stand up and literally look 9 months pregnant. I've adjusted my diet, I've seen a naturopath, like I kind of found what works for me to like eliminate that as much as possible. Obviously it's not 100% foolproof, but it definitely helps.
Supports for patients is really important, and it's not just patients, it's their caregivers as well, because this is a disease that has a huge emotional impact, and not just emotional, but also psychological, social impact. So we liaise very closely with Scleroderma Ontario and Scleroderma Canada.
My kids had to learn how to live with like a part-time mom. My mom had to, like, the natural order of things is, you know, I get older, I take care of my mom, but my mom's had to step in and be like a second mom because, you know, my husband works long hours. You kind of do need a tribe of people. It's very easy to get stuck in like that rabbit hole of depression and just allowing the disease to own you. Seeing other people and seeing how much support we have and how many doctors and how it's come such a long way already. Like, it's a rare disease, there's so much more we have to do, but it's a lot better than what it was, especially when I was first diagnosed.
I really hope that one day mental health supports are integrated right into the healthcare system for those living with scleroderma and their loved ones. I hope that when, unfortunately, someone gets the diagnosis of scleroderma, I want them to be able to be met with mental health supports. Hey, this is a challenging time. You shouldn't have to go through this alone. Here are some ways and some resources to reach out to. The support groups that are available, the online communities like the SPIN community, the Scleroderma Canada, all of these resources that people can hopefully get connected with early.
I've seen great benefit from the patient support programs and patient support groups. You know, there are a number of in Ontario that are really great at coming together and finding joy in their lives. You know, they all come together because they have a diagnosis of scleroderma, but that's it. After that, it's all about having fun. Whether it's having a potluck in someone's living room, whether it's getting together at a restaurant. You know, for many years, the Mississauga support group held a dinner dance gala, and it was just a way to find joy among people who understood what you were going through.
for the past 4 years now, have been to Queen's Park lobbying the Minister of Health for better treatments. So, for example, over the past 3 years, we've been successful in getting sildenafil and tadalafil. These are drugs that open up the blood supply. We've been successful at getting them funded for our patients. And up until September of this year, they weren't funded, and they were costing up to $1,000 a month, which most people can't afford. So we were super successful there with the help of the Ontario government, who actually listened. Now, we have certain drugs that are already available for other immune-driven diseases, like rheumatoid arthritis, for example. And we know from clinical trials that those drugs can be helpful in certain aspects of systemic sclerosis. So that's what we're lobbying the government for. But also, there's hope. There's hope on the horizon.
I think there are sort of 3 areas of research. One is better treatment of the complications, the serious complications of scleroderma, where people will continue to live longer. I think we're going to see a conceptual shift in terms of rebooting the computer. Like, let's reboot this immune system so it stops attacking the body. And the closest we've come to that so far is stem cell transplant. And we've recently seen success with that as well. So I think all these small steps are leading us to a cure. And I like to believe that in my lifetime, we will see a cure for scleroderma.